History, our past. What is history? History may be defined as a careful, systematic record of the past events, such as records of the royal dynasties and the way of life of the common people arranged in a chronological way. Take the example of your family album. It has photographs of your ancestors. Some past events, such as birthday parties, marriage ceremony of your elder brother, etc., arranged in such a way that the events happened first are pasted in the beginning, followed by the ones that happened later. Your album photographs give you information about the dress, culture, and traditions of your family. Thus, the album actually displays your family history. A person who studies the source material, analyzes, and records the events is called a historian. The source material may be divided into two categories: archaeological and literary. Archaeological source material. The archaeological source material is generally discovered through survey and excavations, digging of the earth. The remains thus found can be dated after going through a complicated technique. These remains include tools, weapons, articles of daily use, that is pottery, coins, inscriptions, copper plates, clay tablets, that is seals and sealings, manuscripts, etc. Coins. The study of coins is known as numismatics. The coins throw light on the ancient times. The language engraved on them reveals the exact period to which they belonged. The coins of Greek kings have been found in the northwest regions of India, as some states came up in this region after the invasion of Alexander the Great in 326 BCE. Similarly, in South India, coins of Roman kings have been found indicating trade relations between India and Rome. Kanishka the Great issued gold coins of the same weight as that of the Romans to avoid trouble in exchange and trade. Edicts and inscriptions. The writings engraved on stones, rocks, pillars, metal plates, clay tablets, etc. are called inscriptions. The study of inscriptions is called epigraphy. Several edicts of Emperor Ashoka give us a lot of information about his achievements and socio-economic life of the people of his times. Similarly, Junagarh rock inscriptions of King Rudradaman and Hathigumpha inscription of Kharavela, a Kalinga ruler, provide authentic information about these times. Artifacts. Artifacts are work of art including sculptures and paintings. These are source material of cultural history as they help us in reconstructing the cultural life of the ancient people. The sculptures of Sanchi Stupa provide us different aspects of human life as they inform us about the lifestyles of rulers, priests, merchants and musicians, etc. The specimens found at Takshala that belonged to the period of Kanishka throw light on the Gandhara art and religious beliefs of the Kushana kings. The images and paintings of the Gupta period, still preserved in the Ellora caves and murals of Ajanta, display articles of daily use, jewelry, hairstyles, etc. They also yield information about the religious beliefs of the people. Literary source material. Thousands of years ago, when there was no paper to write on, our ancestors wrote on dried bhojpatras, the bark of the trees. As there was no printing press, the accounts were written by hand. These handwritten accounts are called manuscripts. Literary sources include two kinds of literature: religious literature and secular literature. Religious literature. The religious literature of India includes the Brahmanical literature, Buddhist and Jain sacred texts, and epics. The earliest beliefs of Vedic religion have been grouped in 4 Vedas, namely Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, and Athar Veda. The Rig Veda is the oldest work among the Brahmanical literature. It throws light on the religions, social and economic life of the early Aryans. The later Vedas and Samhitas provide information on the life of post-Vedic Aryans. The Smritis composed during the Gupta age give us valuable information about this period. Among the epics, Ramayana was written by Maharshi Valmiki and Mahabharata by Maharshi Vedvyas. Both convey that truth prevails over evil, and they have great religious importance for the Hindus. Bhagavad Gita, which is a part of Mahabharata, is a philosophical text that sets out the importance of selflessness, duty, and devotion to work, spirituality, and meditation, etc. Among Buddhist literature, the holy books are Pitakas and Mahadhampada. They contain the views of Buddha, rules of the Buddhist Sangha, and the Buddhist philosophy. The stories of previous incarnations of Lord Buddha are compiled in Jatakas. The Millionth Panho presents a philosophical dialogue between Menander, the Greek king, and Nagsena, the Buddhist monk. These texts provide us a lot of information on the social and cultural life of ancient India. Most of the Jain literature is composed in Prakrit language, which is also known as Ardhamagadhi. The Angas of the Jains elucidate the contemporary society and the political and economic conditions of that time. Secular literature. Secular literature is not connected with any religion or faith. One may say that this form of literature is created by the people and for the people. It is in the form of prose, poetry, novel, play, history, grammar, etc., and travelogues, which are accounts of foreigners. In ancient period during the Maurya age, Kautilya wrote Arthashastra, which is a treatise on political science and statecraft. Other important works of this period include Mudra Rakshasa by Vishakadatta, Katha Sarit Sagara by Somadeva, and Brihat Katha Manjari by Kshimendra. The grammatical works like Panini's Ashtadhyay and Patanjali's Mahabhasya contain valuable historic information of that period. Ashtadhyay deals with early grammar of Sanskrit. In 5th century CE, during Gupta period, Kalidasa wrote Abhijanana Sakuntalam, which is regarded as one of the best examples of love play between King Dushyant and Shakuntala. Charaka and Sushruta wrote Samhitas, which deal with medicinal aspects known as Ayurveda. Kadambari, written by Banabhatta in 7th century CE, is regarded as the first novel in Sanskrit, and his work, Harshacharita, is the first historical account of early period of King Harshvardhan. Vikramang Dev Charita by Bilhana describes the achievements of King Vikramaditya, the later Chalukya king. Harshvardhan himself wrote plays like Nagananda and Ratnavali, which throw light on the conditions of India during his rule. Kalhana's Rajtarangini traces the history of Kashmir. Rajtarangini literally means streams of kings. It was the first historical work till 12th century. Foreigners' accounts. A great deal of our knowledge of ancient Indian history comes from the travelogues or accounts of foreign travelers. Megasthenes, the Greek ambassador who lived in the court of Chandragupta Maurya, wrote Indica, an account of India. Ptolemy wrote Geography of India, another important work. At a later period, Chinese travelers visited India to collect religious books and visit the holy places of Buddhism. Some of them, like Fa Hin, Hyun-sang, Ait Singh, have recorded valuable accounts of contemporary India. Introduction to Indian History. Indian history is divided into two phases: prehistoric, historic. The prehistoric men left no written records, but they have left their remains. In India, archaeologists have unearthed many sites of the Stone Age, which is divided into three periods: Paleolithic, Old; Mesolithic, Middle; and Neolithic, New. The earliest traces of human activity go back to 1 lakh BCE. Thus, 99% of the Indian history comprises of prehistoric period. With the dawn of civilization, language and script evolved. Now, history is recorded or is printed. But when printing was not known, it was written by hand on paper. Before the use of paper, records were written on dried palm leaves and the birch tree barks. Copper plates as well as stone inscriptions were also used. Emperor Ashoka engraved his ideas and beliefs on various matters like religion, social norms and administrative reforms, etc. The languages spoken were Sanskrit, Pali and Prakrit in ancient India, and the script was Brahmi as well as Kharoshthi. In the inscription of 3rd century BCE, two types of Brahmi, that is, the northern and the southern, may be distinguished in writing. From the northern script, Devanagari along with regional scripts like Gujarati, Marathi, Punjabi script developed, while the southern variety of Brahmi led to the development of 5 types of scripts, all now used in South India. Explorers of the world. Do you know how new ideas, religions, traditions, knowledge, etc. travelled distant lands in ancient time? The ideas travelled with the merchants, marched with the army, and were spread by preachers who promoted their faith. This brought people closer to each other and gave better understanding about each other. Yet some, driven by the spirit of adventure, travelled and discovered new places. Marco Polo, 1254 to 1324, was the first European to visit China. He encouraged the idea of trading with the East. Christopher Columbus sailed from Palos, Spain, and discovered islands of West Indies and reached North and South America. Vasco da Gama, 1460 to 1524, the Portuguese navigator, discovered the sea route to India. All these adventurous discoveries had great economic and political impact in future. India, the land of unity in diversity. After independence, many provinces have been reorganized and some new states have come up on the basis of linguistic and cultural similarity of the people of the area, so that regional language may flourish and administrative work may be done in their mother language. It is said that India presented a picture of unity in diversity. Actually, in ancient time, Greeks, Parthians, Shakas, Kushanas, and Hunas invaded India, but after some time, they were absorbed in the Indian culture. Greeks were identified as Indo-Greek. Kushana and most of foreign invaders adopted Indian religion. The fusion between their culture and indigenous Indian culture resulted in enrichment of the society and encouraged trade contacts of India with the outside world. Names of our country. India and Bharat are the two names that we often use for our country. The name Bharat was given by Aryans. Scholars say that in ancient India, the name of river Indus was given by Aryans as Sindhu. The Greeks and Persians who came in contact with our flourishing, rich civilization called the land after Sindhu as Hindos or Indos. Greek first used and popularized the name India in ancient world. Probably, it was due to their phonetic pronunciation problem. The first article of the Constitution says, India, that is Bharat. This means both names are synonymous. India is the only country to have an ocean named after it. In Arabic and Persian literature, an alternative name, Hindustan, is also used. It is still in common use during conversation and in poetry. Meaning of historical date. Mani asked his mother why CE or BCE is written after historical dates. What do they mean? His mother said that to find out the date of an event, we mention BCE or CE. They are abbreviations. BCE means before Christian era and CE means Christian era. The year of birth of Christ is regarded as the 0 point. The later years are counted as CE. That is why CE counting moves forward and BCE counting is backwards.